here at the Le Book event. We're going to talk to some creatives and get a sense of what's happening in the industry. And I hope you enjoy this. I'm having the time of my life. So the industry is changing like every day, pretty much.
It is, and magnificently.
Yeah. Does that change how you look at talent and how you guide their career? How does that?
God, that's a big question. I mean, yes and no. Raw talent is sort of essentially what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if people have a very good eye and a perception and a taste level, then navigating the technology can be a learned thing.
Right.
But there are other people who start with the technology and that's what drives their creativity. But I don't think there's any one way of looking at it, you know.
And you don't necessarily look for like a multidisciplinary artist?
Because we're such a big company, we look for many different things for different divisions. Certainly for the integrated media division, that's a helpful premise. And there are some people who are just very gifted at looking at things from multiple perspectives. I mean, a bit like yourself, you're coming from this whole kind of moving imagery, blog world, and it all actually informs each other. So I think anyone who's digitally aware or obsessive about media, content, information is actually going to understand all of the different media channels.
That's me, obsessive.
You seem like an obsessive man.
Have you picked that up already?
Mm-hmm.
Track. I think interactive is one of the most difficult things to define.
Agreed.
And if you ask 10 people, you'll get 10 different answers. I think that if you take photography, illustration, video, when people are applying it to the digital realm, they're translating it. What we're trying to do is speak with a new fluent language, which is understanding how this content is used and generating it that way to begin with, rather than just generating it in a traditional way and trying to retrofit it into a website or an iPad or a delivery device. We've been working on this idea of the living picture. So it's video, but it has the aesthetic of photography. What you can then do to that image is, say you've got a fashion story. The fashion story is moving, it's beautiful, but you can still read, it's not overcomplicated.
Right.
But then you can tap on that dress and it will
Get
geotag the local
it
thing.
is.
But it can just tell you about it. But also you could tap the dress, it could open up a video, and you could be looking at the making of that dress.
Right.
So I think what it does, it allows the user to dictate how they want to view the content if that content has been made available for them to use.
Right. I think what's the most exciting about this whole new development is that it's really forcing people to tell stories.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's the most interesting part of it.
I think it's a very good point, and I think story has got lost.
On my side, as far as when we talk about going to digital, I've taken on a few different people who, while they don't do video necessarily, they fall outside of the traditional side of things. For instance, one of my busiest photographers is Scott Schumann, the sartorialist. He came from his blog. We do a lot of ad campaigns with him.
Yeah.
He's put together specialty blogs for other companies to sell their products as well. And another person I took on recently was Michelle Phan. She was a YouTube makeup guru.
Right.
We took her on as a makeup artist. I mean, some of her videos on YouTube were getting 8.5, 9 million views.
Unbelievable.
Within less than a month after we took her on, she was signed as a spokesperson for Lancome. I haven't specifically gone after the video world and the moving image world in a big way, because I feel like it's still a little bit lacking what the clients want.
Right.
Clients will say, we want video, can you do some video? But they don't tell me how they're going to use it or what they want, Is it a 15-second image piece, like a really moving image? Or is it a minute and a half narrative piece? Or do they want like a 2.5 minute, behind the scenes kind of thing?
Right.
But I think a lot of the clients are still figuring out how they're going to use those images or the videos and what exactly they want it to be.
So Vimeo is an online video sharing website that's focused on the people who make video. So while there's others out there, we specifically focus on the individual that creates the video. So everything about our site, from our player to our tools to the whole user experience, is really focused on the video creator. with HD capabilities
Yes.
built into digital SLRs, so many photographers are really migrating over to shooting video
Right.
and finding that the way that they earn a living has changed.
Hi guys, so I'm here with Michael Kazam, who's like the brains behind all this visual fabulosity. So Michael, why don't you tell us a little about the book?
The book has been around actually for about 30 years. It's only been about 15 years that we've been in the United States, in New York. And about 5 years ago, we decided to start doing these events called Connections, which kind of brought the book to life, which enabled the different creatives that showcase their work within the book to actually interact with the creatives that they're showcasing their work to, being creatives in the advertising industry, the fashion industry, the media industries, and really meet face to face, because it's become an industry that rarely interacts anymore, just on the phone, by email, but never face to face. And now through Connections, we've been able to recreate that interaction. So we tried to create this environment where one would almost feel like walking into somebody's living room or dining room, and really having a conversation, discussing a portfolio, discussing a reel, and really interacting with them in a different way, not a traditional trade show kind of way. And it's worked. I mean, it's now been about 5 years, 12 trade shows, New York, Paris, London, and Hamburg. Well, the industry's changed quite a bit over the past several years. A lot of photographers have obviously sensed and realized the necessity to kind of evolve in their work and be able to provide more content to the clients that are commissioning them, whether it be department stores, fashion brands, beauty brands. They all need more content now. Obviously, they need to provide imagery for their online identities. So the different photographers and agencies that we worked with already were looking forward to start showcasing different types of work. And we as a company and as a platform, as a network, realized the necessity to offer our audience the opportunity to see more work. So we're now not only reaching out to the photographers who are doing that work, but actually people that specialize in it. So whether it be moving image, motion graphics, animation, whatever it might be, those are the new needs of the creative world.
Things have definitely gotten a lot more multimedia in a way. Like every single project, whether it's a magazine editorial or advertising campaigns, they have some sort of video component aspect to it. So I definitely encourage my artists to become more savvy into, directing and creating some sort of motion picture element to their art. I want people that have already those kind of innovative ideas and instinctively think outside of the box, and I also want to be their coach and kind of guide them and show them things that they haven't thought of before. It's not anymore about actors being famous. Everybody in a way has to be famous.
No, but I just think everyone else has to tell their story. The thing about the internet is that it's all about telling a story.
Right.
So, like, no matter what age you are, also, you get a chance to tell your story. I mean, it's worked miracles for me.
Oh, you're out there telling your story.
Out there,
everybody knows your story.
Everybody knows.
It's just not necessarily that good.
It's not a good one, but it's a story.
Right now, the photographers I represent are traditional, who people go to for the traditional photography, rather than the ones spilling more quickly into new media. This is the perfect example of a traditional. Robin Broadbent still shoots in medium format, but you know what? I'm excited by the new media, but I think there's always going to be a giant place for these guys. It's completely different than what they're going for, and I like that too, though. But for the moment, I'm really happy with these kind of people. So.
Well, I'm having a great experience.
Glad to hear it.
And thank you for letting us participate in this.
Thanks for coming.